I'm Hotwife and erotic author Juliet Adelaide here with a little snippet from my witty, erotic, and true story romance, Mrs. Sexy. It is my true story of my journey from monogamy to becoming a hotwife in my life of polyamory with my husband of 25 years. So do check it out. It's available on Amazon or at www.mrssexybook.com. It's very entertaining. And these were just some reflections I had about a few of the men that I had met during the course of my first year as a hotwife. Dan taught me that it's okay to be open with sexuality on new levels. He was the one I started writing my scenarios for, and the one that showed me that they could be effective. He was the first to make me feel like I'm still a desirable woman, and that alternative sexual lifestyles, such as threesomes, were desired by other people too. He was also the first to show me how much sex affects me emotionally. Although I viewed this at the time to be a purely female concern, I have learned that this affects men too. Even though most would never admit it, Dan taught me other things too. I hadn't been with another man since I was a teenager, so to learn of modern-day sexuality was a bit shocking. The acts, of course, were the same, but the game is so different. From sending nude pictures and video to coming on various parts of my body, the dating experience was so much different now. The emotional involvement was the same. I don't know if all women get attached so easily, become so weak around men, but I'm guessing most do. Dan and his secret departure from my life made me stronger and more confident in many ways, and I would thank him for that if I ever heard from him again. Nick taught me different things. Being so much younger than myself, I got to experience the frustration of a 20-something girl. I learned to appreciate my husband more. Nick dated a lot of other women, and competing for a man's attention was a frustrating experience. How lucky was I to have a loving husband and not to have to go out and deal with the competition of dating. It was worth trying to compete a little bit for Nick at the time. I felt passionate towards Nick. It was probably due to our first date ending up in my back seat. It was always so hot and exciting, more so than my times with Dan. I learned to get over some of the bullshit easier. It toughened me up a bit. Don't get me wrong, I was still that vulnerable teenage girl who got her feelings hurt, but made me more angry than sad. I think that it became more of a game with him, maybe more of a hotwife experience. He wasn't the one-night stand hotwife experience that I had visioned, but it was something similar. I made the mistake of being the one who was dumped, and that upset me. I did have the just for sex and hubby reclaiming me pattern down at the end of our few weeks together, and Nick became one of my best friends. He encouraged my writing. We always laughed and had a good time together. Better friends than lovers, I suppose. I did never regret Nick, as I did with Dan. With Chris, I felt more in charge of our affair, perhaps more the hotwife dominant that I had wanted with the others. I understood him more, and he communicated better. He was better educated and financially secure, which took some of the drama away. He was flattering and responsive. He made requests of me, and I honored them. He liked me to be a bit more dominant in the relationship, where I let the others control me like a schoolgirl. He should really have been my choice as a lover, as he was both financially and mentally more stable than the others. I learned that I'm not as wise as I should be. I didn't have such an animal attraction to him as the others, and it affected my judgment. His money never really affected me, nor our relationship in general. He did have a very nice house to play in, but was that enough to keep me interested? I still didn't know the answer to that. We really had little in common, but despite that, when we were together, it was always fun. I think my husband would have preferred that I took more interest in time with Chris than the others, simply for the fact that Chris always treated me so well. He always asked to see me, always welcomed my husband to be there too, and he was a good lover. So why did I not learn to appreciate him more? The simplest answer, that I was more interested in spending time with Max. Check out my witty, erotic, and true stories available on Amazon, and I hope everybody has a very sexy day.